Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video let's take a look at Tesla, Nvidia, AMD and also S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. Before going further, I also want to let you know none of this is any financial advice and only is for educational purposes, just sharing my opinion. Now, tomorrow we have Tesla's earnings. Now, at this point, it all comes down to what the price action is going to do during the earnings time, gap up or gap down. Now, I did talk about the scenarios over the weekend. Definitely check that video out on my channel. I'll still provide a summary here real quick. But as for the intraday that is today, and for tomorrow as well until before earnings, I mentioned that now I'm on the hourly interval. I mentioned that as if we start to lose this area, 238 area, 234, we lost that as well, significant level area especially. We'll test 225 area to 212 area. So we did that test today after losing that 238 is what I mentioned. Now, we are in the downtrend. Only thing that can turn around Tesla is a gap up for an uptrend. Otherwise, I'll talk about what if it gaps down, where are we heading then? Now, as for tomorrow, I would say the big move, unless some news comes around tariffs or something changes, then only Tesla would make a big move. Otherwise, it will be only after or during earnings and after earnings, whichever direction it would be. But until then, a rebound may possibly continue at least to the level of 234 and 58 cents if we cannot lose 222 below. As we can stay above it, we have a potential of doing a rebound to 234, but that would be it. That is only until before the earnings tomorrow. All right. And then, yeah, as I said over the weekend as well, it all comes down to the earnings. Now, if Tesla can gap up, what are the scenarios we're looking at? Yes, over the weekend I mentioned that while the price action was over here, if Tesla gaps up above 277, we'll be good for 326. Now we do have another area though. That is the area, because we are very far away from that, that is 252. If Tesla, let's say, doesn't gap up above 276 after earnings, and it gaps up only above 252, it's definitely not bad. It is a structural shift already, but that may only last for a couple of days. The bigger good strength is, let's say for any reason Tesla gaps up above 277, that's where things really opens up again on Tesla. I'm not saying that gapping above 252 is just, inconsiderate of any possibility further to go up, but it's just that it's not going to be that strong of a strength. But yes, that's still a good price action for multi-day strength to again turn positive if we gap up above 252. However, if we gap below this area of 212 to 208, and pretty much the 212 bottom line is what I'll say, as we gap lower than that, guys, then we gonna open up the doors on Tesla to $170 in coming days. All right, so yeah, Tesla is weak. Tesla is in the downtrend. Let's see if tomorrow earnings changes around anything on this one. Nvidia, let's take a look at that as well. Now, Nvidia as well, we are continuing to fall. And right now, well, Huawei is planning to ship their chips to China. And as you can see now, the tariffs are affecting the fundamentals because they're causing these companies to lose their market share, right? Anyways, Nvidia, as I said over the weekend as well, we are in the downtrend. I also mentioned to you guys, you can sell a covered call. If you have shares of this, you can sell a covered call at 115. And you already collected the premium and your shares are still safe, guys, for this week is what I said, right? Now, we are just in the downtrend and there is no uptrend right now. And as we continue to lose 97 also now, we're gonna most likely test 87 again. Let's get to the hourly interval. Where are the possibilities if any uptrend has to form on Nvidia? Well, we are very far away from those possibilities right now, guys. We'll have to get above $100 at least, right? That's the thing. If we can get above $100 without breaking further below, then we have a chance of stabilizing again. Otherwise, no. For any rebound potential to an uptrend, let's say if Nvidia comes down but it doesn't break 95 and 32 cents, a rebound can build up, but that will just be a rebound. In other words, the $100 below, we are just in the downtrend right now. There is no structural change on Nvidia. All right. Yeah, and then the levels, as I said, 89 is now a possibility to test, 89 to $87 area. Okay, and that will have to, well, these are the important areas. We'll have to see where the structure though starts to turn bullish. Right now, there is no sign of that. We are still in the downtrend. Okay, I'll have to work with the levels that I just provided. Now, AMD surprisingly today, yes, it did fall, but it did recover as well nicely. I'll show you 5 minutes in just a second. Now, it's still in the downtrend, nothing changes, but it's finding some stabilization. As you can see on 5 minutes interval, this thing, even early in the morning, this thing did try, while the market, all other stocks were very down, this thing did try to come back up, but eventually gave up. Now, if you have access to my tools, you would have done fine on day trading on every stock. Again, one tool is already turned on my screen. Another one I'll just gonna show you real quick. AMD, yes, early on it did try to become bullish, but it remained below the cloud, remained bearish. This is where it did try to turn around again when other stocks were still falling, but then and now it just gave up. That were the good bearish plays, and this was the good back up again, a rebound play. So, but it was still a little bit choppy, but with the help of the tools, it's easy to identify which direction to trade, where the structure is a little bit gaining strength, and where you can trade strength as well. If you, yeah, you can trade short as well, and you can trade bullish as well. In these cases, it's just mostly size down your positions, right, when you are rebounding on the short. So anyways, again, if you need access to the tools, check out the details in the description of this video. But today was a bit of a little bit of a choppy day. But when I say choppy, I mean, but we still were able to make money using the tools, right? So that's all what matters. Anyways, now let's get to S&P 5. Well, I want to talk about the levels actually. So yes, it did a good rebound today. However, we are not bullish on this overall. Now, at this point, can a rebound continue tomorrow? Well, you can watch this level. If 85 and 29 cents above we stay, rebound is possible, but take it until 88 and 94 cents, nothing more than that. We won't be in an uptrend, at least, well, 87 and 45 cents. If we can somehow get above it and close above it tomorrow, some multi-day strength can start to form. Otherwise, no, we'll just remain in the downtrend. All right, let's get to S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100. So let's take a look at NASDAQ 100 first. Just in the downtrend, and unfortunately, and as I said, guys, we got to see a follow through the first time and a follow through continuation. And in this case, once we came back down here, this was a last line of defense. We lost it, and it just already is continuing lower. We are in the downtrend structure again, full on. Those rebounds are over. Unfortunately, we didn't see a follow through, size down the position. And as I said, it works the first time. Second time, as I said, if we lose it, we might struggle, right? And we are already struggling today to come back up, right? So anyhow, as we stay below 443, overall structure will remain negative on this thing now. And on the hourly interval, that's what I'll say. We'll have to overall get above 443, but near term, if a rebound continues, this zone is still your zone of resistance. 443 and a little bit below that, 441 to 443. This is still a zone of resistance, okay? So yeah, that's on NASDAQ 100. S&P 500 is also in the downtrend, very similar case as I just mentioned on QQQ as well. And below 524 will just remain in the downtrend. There is no structural change now on this thing. Hourly interval, very similar, just like NASDAQ 100. S&P 500, anything below 524.50 cents to 521 is just still a weakness. If rebound comes, as we can hold above 510, rebound is possible, but that will only last. First, your good confirmed upper level is only 521 because that's where the strong resistance zone is. That's all I had for you guys in this video. If you found it helpful, valuable, please hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next videos, guys. Take care. Bye.